Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to review Blue Fairy Godmother at skill level 4, 5, and 6. I'm also going to share with you the strategies that I use and my learnings between skill level 4, 5, and 6. So if you're looking for a tutorial for these higher skill level, definitely check this video out. The strategy to use Blue Fairy Godmother for skill level 4, 5, and 6 is different than skill level 1, 2, and 3. So if you're using Blue Fairy Godmother at the higher skill level, definitely check this video out. For the lower skill level, I do have another video that I covered. I'll link it in the description below and also in the top right hand corner. In that video, I do cover the strategies for the lower skill level and also the stats for all 6 of the skill levels. So check that video out after this one if you want to see the in-depth tutorial of Blue Fairy Godmother at the lower skill level. Before I get into reviewing skill level 4, 5, and 6, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I do Tsum reviews, pickup capsule reviews, selection box reviews, or even doing monthly leaks, please consider subscribing to this channel. It really helps me out a lot. Okay, so let's get into Blue Fairy Godmother at skill level 4, 5, and 6. So there are 2 differences here between the different skill levels. First is the skill range, and this is in reference to the chain reaction, and then secondly is the time. So for skill level 4, the skill range is going to be large. Skill level 5 is going to be extra large. And at skill level 6, it's going to be extra large. And again, this is in reference to how far away they will cause a chain reaction. That's really the only difference. The higher the skill level, the farther the Tsums can be away from each other to still burst each other. And then the second component is how long the ability is going to be activated. So for skill level 4, the ability time is 6.2. And for skill level 5, it's going to be 6.6. And then finally, for skill level 6, it's going to be 7 seconds. Essentially, you're getting 0.4 seconds more every single time you level up Blue Fairy Godmother. And one good way to figure out if you're still in ability time or not is look at the top of the screen or even at the bottom of the screen. You'll see a bunch of stars and a lot of sparkles everywhere. That's essentially telling you that you're still in ability time. And that's very important because you want to keep making those bubbles or making chains when you are still in ability time. You want to strive to make a really long chain. But I'll get into the bubble making part in just a second here. There are a couple of tips that I want to share with you as well. Is whenever you make a chain of 7 or more, the special bubble that you're making is going to be bigger compared to if you just make a chain of 3 or 4, even 5. The bubbles are going to be smaller. Whenever you're in ability time and you make that initial burst, you should always strive to make a long chain if you can. Typically, it's not too difficult, especially if you see a big Tsum on the screen. Try to make a chain there, so that way it spawns you a big bubble. Those big bubbles have a bigger reach, so they don't have to necessarily connect or even directly be touching another blue bubble, and they'll burst one another. Alright, so I'm just going to show you a side-by-side comparison of the abilities activated at the same time, but I'm just going to let it play in normal speed, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to commentate over it. And in the commentary, I want you to focus on skill level 6 because that's where I really perfected the skill and the strategy on how to properly use it. So the first thing you need to know is when Blue Fairy Godmother turns a bunch of Tsums into blue bubbles, these are completely random. So it really comes down to luck. There's really no changes, but what I've noticed is that usually it's at least 10 blue bubbles. It's never going to be less than 8. So if you take a look at skill level 6, you'll see that a bunch of mics got turned into blue bubbles. And very different than skill level 1, the first thing you should do is burst these blue bubbles right away. And what this burst will do is it will give you a really long chain. Typically, it will clear a majority of the screen, and keep in mind, the screen only has 45 Tsums. So you should always get roughly about 40. But in this example, it's probably one of the better ones. So if you take a look at it here, the entire, well, not the entire screen, almost the entire screen gets burst. Out of the 45 Tsums that were on the screen, 44 of them got burst away. So that is a really good chain reaction there. And that's essentially what you should do at these higher skill levels, is just burst them right away. And then after that first round of bursting, the second part is probably the more difficult part, is you should look for long chains if you can, or Blue Fairy Godmothers. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is if you make really long chains or 7 or more, the bubbles are going to be bigger. So once you have a big bubble that's made, go ahead and burst them right away, because in the second portion of the bursting, you want to have big bubbles. And the little bubbles that you make, leave them there because they may help with the chain reaction. Essentially what you want to do in this second portion of the ability is you want to get back into ability time. So you'll notice there that my ability time ended, but because I have the majority of Blue Fairy Godmother charged up already, in just about 1 to 2 seconds, I was able to get back into ability time. So essentially what you want to do is you want to keep this cycle going. You want to just stay in ability time as much as possible, so that way you can generate more bubbles and more bubbles. By doing this, you'll be able to get a longer chain and more scores and more coins. So it's a really effective Tsum if you use it properly, and it's a really good coin earner as well. Overall, I'm really enjoying using Blue Fairy Godmother. She's really good for coins, and it's just a really fun Tsum to use because there is some strategy to it. So let me share with you the results for these 3 gameplays. At skill level 4, I ended up with 2,210 coins. Skill level 5, I got 3,169. And at skill level 6, I got 4,894. So very good results. And I think that if I keep playing Blue Fairy Godmother and as I get better with her, I'm definitely going to be able to get 5,000 or more. She's also going to be great for score as well. For skill level 4, I got 7.3 million. Skill level 5, I got 12.3. And at skill level 6, I got a total of 21.1. So keep in mind as well, Blue Fairy Godmother for these game demonstrations were at the lower levels. So if you're able to get her to level 50, she's definitely going to be a great score as well. So let's compare Blue Fairy Godmother between skill level 4, 5, and 6 with skill level 1, 2, and 3. And let's see what the differences are. And again, keep in mind, I got better with her later on at skill level 6. So the data is a little bit skewed. But you'll see that there was a big change between skill level 1 to skill level 6. Looking at the score itself, at skill level 1, I only got 3.8 million, but at skill level 6, I ended up with 21.1 million. So that big jump there is very significant. Even from skill level 5 to skill level 6, the scores were significantly different. So if you're looking for a high scoring Tsum that gets you a good amount of coins, then Blue Fairy Godmother at skill level 6 is your go-to. She's not necessarily the easiest Tsum to use, but she's definitely really fun. But she's not difficult by any means. As long as you follow the strategies that I've laid out for you, then you're going to be good to go. Don't follow the game demonstration for skill level 5 and 4 because I didn't play them perfectly. But at skill level 6, I started to perfect it. So if you're looking for a good step-by-step tutorial, then focus on skill level 6 game demonstration, because if you follow that, you should be able to replicate the results for yourself as well. So that's my review for Blue Fairy Godmother at skill level 4, 5, and 6. I hope that you guys found this video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you guys are using this video to learn how to use Blue Fairy Godmother at skill level 6, let me know in the comments below how it's going for you. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.